Thank you. Just in relation to grants, I'm always interested in that. That's obviously a big part of that is NZTA money, is it? Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's $31 million down in 6 months, which seems a lot of money. Well, obviously, with the budget that has been proposed for the next 10 years, and the reduction in roading infrastructure projects, that's going to drop even further, is it?
Yeah, it will if we use if the basic budget is approved, it would be.
Okay.
But that we'd correspondingly would have reduced the budget. This is probably more a timing issue.
Yeah.
Timing.
The current year.
Okay, so how would I be able to get a understanding of what we've been receiving in the past and where it is at the moment, like in previous years, from NZTA?
We could request that from Auckland Transport.
But to see what the figures are. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Fletcher.
No, my question's been put.
Thank you. Right, it's been moved and seconded.
I had my question up, Madam Chair. Just a very quick question.
Oh, okay, Councillor.
And it just follows on from the issue that the Deputy Mayor was raising, really, about people understanding this and understanding the story. It wouldn't be too hard to convert this into just a graphical format with some pies and the like, and where you've got some structural changes that are occurring around the employee benefits and the consultants. An ordinary person could understand it pretty simply because there is a good story here.
Okay. Thank you. Councillor Cashmore.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. Be interested to present that data, as Councillor Walker says, in pies. You'd probably end up with a whole tray of pies, I would suggest. Might be quite confusing. Francis, thanks for your report and for the summaries of it. It's really good. My question, it might be one of a layman's terms. The $751 million of assets we've built, their equity's gone up by 659, so there's a $92 million difference there. It's been funded by $302 million worth of surpluses, and the rest is debt funding. Is that ongoing surpluses? Has that been treated accruingly in the books? And is it a trend that's sustainable? Or has it been sustained in the past? Do you believe it to be sustainable in the future?
Through you, Madam Chair, if I'm understanding you correctly, when we fund new assets, they generally are debt funded. Mm-hmm. But as council will do, we will monitor our actual cash flows, and so some of our surpluses actually are cash surpluses, and in those cases we will use that money first. So yes, where we've got cash surpluses, we will do it, and the whole plan is based on what are the actual cash surpluses we expect to generate, and then the borrowings come net of that.
So, through you, Madam Chair, those cash surpluses in historical terms have been around that sort of figure? It's been relatively consistent?
So I can just add a comment through the chair. Yeah, if you remember in the long-term plan, the funding of depreciation is part of our financial strategy. So no, the trend is for actually just this to grow over time. So historically it's been growing and it will continue on the basis that we're currently funding about 63% of depreciation.
Yes, I understand.
As we move over the 10-year time frame to fund 100%, that'll create more cash surpluses, which means that can be used to fund new assets or repay debt.
Right, that's exactly my point. Go next point.
Perfect.
So,
Okay, thank you.
we're future-proofing it.
Yep.
It's been moved.
Oh, Madam Chair, can I just get one clarification, and it might be from Kevin, as far as our consultants and contractors line item. That does exist, doesn't it, within the realm of other operating expenses?
There are a few lines
as the
that make
cost
it up.
pertaining
Yes.
to that.
Yep.
And are we able to get a sense of whether now or soon as to how that is tracking against the full-time employee benefits 6 months on?
The council parent is reported on a quarterly basis. There's an appendix to that report which actually tells you the total professional services. That's made up of consultants, legal fees and auditors. The contractors is an outsourced works line that appears in the quarterly report, so that's available. So that's for the council parent. each of the CCOs also report on a quarterly basis to the CCO Governance Monitoring Committee, and so that's where those questions be posed on them. What you have done is provide a level of funding to the CCOs through the statement of intent. You've actually asked for certain outcomes. They are then managing that within that portfolio. But yeah, you are, as per some of the questions you've already asked today, you're perfectly in the right to actually ask the CCOs to comment on their spendings within their performance.
Well, I suppose what I'm asking you is as to how the actual is overall is tracking from a helicopter view, as opposed to me asking the 7 CCOs one at a time how they're tracking. Yep. Because from the inference here, I suppose, is that the in-house employee benefits are going up because we're now providing a lot of stuff in-house, and the average person would think, oh well, that must be seeing our contracting and consultant fees at least being contained. But I think you'll agree that the group numbers on consultants and contractors over the last 4 years have gradually headed up as well, and I just want to get a handle on that amount.
Yeah, and we do that for the annual report. We do go back to the group and ask for a lot more information around staff and consenting numbers, or consultants numbers I should say. Yeah, and that's why I was suggesting during the year, which actually performance issue for the CCOs. But no, we can tell you just what the totals are, but for the rest of the group we may not have detail on what's actually driven it until the annual report. But we can get the total lines for you, yes.
Yeah, the total, yes. What's driving it and the total amount would be a good indication to put up against the total employee benefits, just so we can see the overall picture.
Great, thanks. So I'm going to put it, all those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried, thank you. I think it would be good to take just a minute break, and I'll hand the chair over to Councillor Cashmore. We now have presentations from the other amenities. I see Auckland Theatre Company there. I think we've got WaterSafe, have we? Yes. Voyager. Yep. Everyone's nodding down the back. Stardome. Right, good. So a minute break. I'll hand over to Councillor Cashmore. Thank you, Bill.
Chair.